Well, hello there, beautiful soul, and welcome to a video episode of Art and Cocktails with me, your host, Kat, artist, entrepreneur, founder of Create Magazine, and your cheerleader. Today I want to talk about becoming magnetic towards the things and opportunities that you may be dreaming of. You may be dreaming of being an exhibiting artist, traveling all over the world, making a certain amount of money, moving into your dream house, or finding that special love of your life. We all have multiple dreams in different areas of our life, and I truly believe that we are worthy and we get to experience them as long as we don't give up faith. That is the hardest part, but also the most critical part. It's especially important to keep even a tiny grain of faith, even in those seasons of your life where things might not be happening at the speed that you want them to, or maybe you're experiencing what feels like a massive setback. And if you are, I have great news for you. Every single time I look back on the moments of my life where I thought things were going backwards, I was failing, things were unraveling or falling apart, when I look back, I truly see the universal hand, divine intelligence, God, love, how He was actually putting things together instead of it falling apart. So sometimes what to us looks like things are falling apart, things are actually coming together for our highest good. Now, today I want to talk about becoming magnetic. I want to give you an example. The other day I was in my studio and, I've been doing this for a while, so obviously this isn't coming from thin air, but I've been painting, intuitively trusting and painting these large scale works that are about 5 feet, 6 feet tall. And a part of me always wondered, why am I doing this? It's not like I have an opportunity to show these works. They're taking up tons of space. They're a lot more expensive to create, and they're really difficult to ship. But inside, I kind of knew there was going to be an opportunity for them eventually. And the other day, I thought to myself, I was like, well, it would be really awesome to show these works. It would be really great to have them on a beautiful display in a big city or in a beautiful gallery. I feel like they really deserve to see the light of day. The funny thing is, a few weeks ago, I had to send a folder of available work to an upcoming show, and they ended up picking many, in fact, most of those large 6-foot paintings. The moral of the story is that sometimes we have to initiate the process and trust those little seeds and intuitive nudges within us before there is an opportunity or an invitation from an outside source. This is so important because the thing is that I believe that our life is kind of like this big giant puzzle piece, and all the pieces are connected and things are happening for us behind the scenes. But our job is to listen to our inner knowing, our intuition, and take action even when it doesn't really quite make sense. Now, disclaimer, obviously putting yourself in not favorable predicaments like, spending too much, spending more than you make, and putting yourself into dangerous situations that are not good for your health. Obviously, that goes without saying. You make the decisions for what's best for you. And also, disclaimer from a personal note, sometimes I did end up using credit to move forward in my career. I'm not going to lie to you about this. There were times where I did not have the money and I had to trust myself to make back the investment. That may be a topic for another day. But only you know what's right for you. You can't ask anyone else. This is a very personal decision. So you have to pause, wait a little bit, and trust yourself with the answer. Going back to what I said, the exhibition that I'm having next is actually including a lot of those big works. And pretty much this is how I end up manifesting a lot of the opportunities that I really want. What the characteristics of my most peaceful and fulfilling manifestations include is me usually having an idea or a desire to start with. Another recent example is 6 years ago, I made a vision board and I put some of my favorite blogs and magazines on this vision board, including one of my favorite magazines from the Netherlands called Flow. Now, I was just a fangirl. I bought every single issue. I was a subscriber until they discontinued their US edition, and I just loved their brand. I didn't care if they never featured me. I just thought, oh my gosh, it would be the coolest freaking thing to be on these pages. And also, just to let you know, this magazine isn't an art magazine. It's actually a lifestyle and mindfulness publication. So it was really cool because 6 years later, I get an email from them right around my birthday, and they actually invite me to be in their Dutch edition. I could not have come up with that on my own, but what I will say is that I was very clear on the desire that I love them. It would be an absolute joy to be included in that magazine. So these examples both highlight that I wasn't desperate. I wasn't emailing them and checking or obsessing or feeling like my world will collapse if I'm not in these opportunities or in these exhibitions or magazines. But rather, I just thought it would be really great. And it was just a feeling of love and admiration and respect, but also a peaceful feeling knowing that I'm going to be okay, even if I never get to experience those things. So I think some of my best manifestations and best successes when it comes to attracting opportunities, they're very peaceful and they're also very trusting, and they don't have this desperate energy like I must have this, I must have this. On the flip side, there were a few opportunities that I had where I felt for some reason very, very anxious. I felt nervous. I felt constantly rushed, pressured, and not good enough. And I was really battling with a lot of fear about the show being a flop or whatever. And looking back, I will say that the reason for that is because I was really struggling with my own sense of self-worth. I was struggling to trust myself. I was struggling to trust in the value of who I am as a person, and also the value of my fine art. So when I look back and I, with compassion, think about that older version of me that, was really having a hard time accepting these opportunities and getting ready for these shows, I just send her love. And I want to, if you're in that place now where you don't feel worthy and you feel rushed and you feel pressured and you feel like, oh, everything is going to fall apart if this one thing goes wrong, I want you to just take a deep breath and come back to that place of love. Come back to the place of just knowing what you want, knowing that even if you don't get that specific opportunity, a better one will come along. And also that your worth, your joy, your abundance is not dependent on any one specific person, place, situation, or opportunity. That will really free you up. In fact, when you have this peaceful energy, that's when you truly become more magnetic. I noticed over the years, from facing many of my fears, from facing many situations that were very jarring to me, both in my business and as an artist, from confronting them and realizing that I'm still blessed, I'm still, here on this planet, so I deserve an opportunity, and there's unlimited potential for me to experience whatever it is that I want to experience. When I come back to that place of just love, possibility, admiration, and respect for other people, as well as respect for myself, I tend to get emails and I tend to get invitations to things. And this has really been 100% true in my life. In fact, for the past 3 years, I have never had a lack of any kind of opportunities. And part of the reason is this healing work that I've done. So if you have a hard time with your self-worth, I'm going to link the book that I'm currently reading, and it's all about your self-worth and your self-confidence. 2 different things, both really important. The other thing that I would do is to continually remind yourself and learn to reprogram your belief system around your worth and the worth of your contributions, your creations, your writing, your art, your business. They're valuable, they're worthy. But the thing is that this world, things work a little bit backwards. So we first have to decide that what we're putting out there is valuable, is worthy, and is important. And then other people will also respond and believe. Because as you know, the world is kind of like this big giant mirror. So the way you become magnetic is, 1, you become clear on something that you really want. You acknowledge that you love it, right? So it's like that quote, if you love something, let it go. It's kind of like that in business and with other stuff too. So for example, if I really love a gallery, I just love it. I can love it at a distance. I can love it whether or not they work with me. And just because they might say no to me doesn't mean that I all of a sudden don't love the kind of work they're putting out or what they're doing, right? It's the same thing with for example, an influencer or an author or an artist I really admire. And if I invite them on my podcast and they say no, it doesn't mean that I all of a sudden hate them and hate their work, right? It just means that they don't want to be on my show and maybe they're too busy at the moment. It's like that. So it's never personal. It's never an attack on your worth. But at the same time, you get to experience those magical parts of life and opportunities. And even if it's not one, it's something better. I always have a mantra. If it's not this, it's something better. And getting used to rejection, getting used to no's, and knowing that they're completely neutral and mean nothing about your future or where you're going is super, super important. So other ways to become magnetic towards opportunities that you want: work on your inner energy, work on feeling good, work on your self-worth, so that when you're showing up and sharing your work, you are proud, you are excited, and that really peaceful confidence will translate, and other people will also sense it. And they will feel safe working with you. They will, because sometimes people feel a lot of pressure. Like if you're like, oh my God, please show my work, or please invite me here, or please do this with me. Sometimes that creates a lot of pressure for other people, which we don't want. We don't want them to feel stressed out by working with us. They want us to feel like a great partner or a great collaborator or even a friend. All right, my loves, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you reconnect with your vision. I like to write down, maybe just brain dump like 20 to 50 goals that you would love to experience in this lifetime. Make a Pinterest board with all your favorite brands or places you want to travel or people you want to work with. Because to me, when I do that, it's not that I need to work with that specific person or brand, it's that level that I'm looking for, right? So it takes the pressure off the specifics, but it opens up doors and clarity towards new opportunities. I love you so much. I hope to connect with you. Let me know if this resonated in the comments, and I can't wait to hear all about your manifestations.